We're going to take a look at how to match the tempo of the audio to Logic's tempo, actually the other way around, how to get Logic's tempo to match the tempo of the audio in Logic. So I started by importing my audio file that I've got. I'm going to zoom in. I could zoom in over here, but I'm going to option drag down. There we go, nice and big. And let's hear what we've got.
Don't kick you out.
Do you have another one for us?
Sure.
Oh, good.
This is a new one, actually. Right.
So then what I'm going to do is just get rid of all that talking. I think it starts over here somewhere. There we go. So there's my edit. Looks good. Bring it back to the beginning.
There must be something in the way you dream. Your disco.
Okay, so we've got the audio happening. I'm going to add a MIDI track, or a software instrument in this case, software instrument. And I have to record some notes in time to this in order to get it to sync up with Logic. So we have a naturally played part not played to a metronome.
Must be something in the.
What we're going to do is make Logic synchronize to it. So I've got my instrument track. Let's add just a drum here, alter beat to start. It doesn't really matter what kit it is. It could be the default. I'm going to press cap lock so you can use whatever keyboard you want. I'm going to look for a nice little click sound. Not that I'm saying that's great. So what I'm going to do is try and guesstimate the beginning so that I get the MIDI event, but I'm going to do it as long as I can. And adjust my metronome so that it doesn't click while it's recording. So I click and hold on metronome and turn it off. And then I'm going to press record, and with any luck, I can try to match it up. So here's what I'm going to do is just play the first part so I can get my tempo.
Must be something in the way you move.
So it's pretty close to what it is right now. So I'm going to press record, and then I'm looking for this sound to kind of be recorded at the same time, in time.
Must be something in the way you move. It must be something in the way you look. On my shirt, desert, yeah. There must be something in the way you dream. Your disco hum and the 13 days in between you and I. This is me before I come undone.
Okay, and my timing's getting off a little bit. So I was playing that live in. So I've got some hits here. If I wanted to, I could edit them. I could say, well, maybe this MIDI note here has to be moved a little bit. I don't know if Logic does edit in place. I actually have to double click it. There we go. That's a little bit better so that we can get it. So if I get that first note, it should kind of move over. I'm looking for it to line up with that first part of it. So I'm going to zoom in. This is where you want to get fairly accurate. And whereabouts? It's right about there. So then I'm just moving over that hit to be there. And where's 2?
Must be something.
Yeah, so that 2 hit should be right about there, so I'm a little bit off. And I'd go through it. I could edit or say, I'm close enough for what I'm trying to do.
Must be something in the way you move. It must be something in the.
So I'm watching the waveform. I'm also counting as I go through in my head. I'm seeing that these line up with the beats as she's playing the guitar. So let's assume that I've got it fairly accurate, so I can get rid of the piano roll. And there we go, get rid of the piano roll. And I'm going to press G for global tracks. We're missing something in our global tracks, so I'm going to click on global tracks, turn on beat mapping. This is where we're trying to beat map. So I've selected the region that I've got, and look, it lines up. You're seeing that those beats are up above. I'm going to zoom out so you can see. It's got a whole bunch of text. Now, I haven't done it for the complete song. You would do it for the complete song, at least try and get as accurate as possible and move notes around. If I click on the side tab for beat mapping, I can choose beats from region. And I might want to protect the MIDI, who knows. Here it's saying, what is the note value? I went 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't go 1, 2. I didn't do bars, so instead I'm going to choose quarter notes. And what it's going to do is take Logic's tempo across here and adjust it so that it matches up with what my tappings were. See how it's sped up, slowed down, sped up and slowed down. It's reasonably accurate. So what it's doing is I'm going to mute that original MIDI part. What it's doing is changing Logic's tempo. It will speed up and slow down. You can see down here as I press play.
Where you look, on my shirt, desert, yeah.
So which is good. It's speeding up and slowing down as I need it. So what I'm going to do is just now get rid of my MIDI part. And now that I have my drums, I can add a drum beat. So I already have a sequencer and ultra beat, so let's turn it on. Here's what we've got. Oh yeah, remix. Who's in the club? Yeah. Okay, so I bring this back. Now when I press play, the sequencer of ultra beat will line up, and any events that I drag in will match up as well, because I've tapped tempo and the tempo is now following this audio. So this is representing the entire tempo map for Logic.
Must be something in the way you move. It must be something in the way you look. I'm not sure, just yet.
So there, it's fairly accurate, and if I wanted to, I could bring up my media bay with my loops. Of course, you do it with the key commands. And then I could grab kits and say, what's this? Yeah, perfect. So then there it is. There it is at the beginning. Turn off my loops. And pardon me. There we go. And now, even if I mute the ultra beat track, that this drum kit will match in tempo exactly to the audio.
Must be something in the way you move. It must be.
To some extent, right? As long as you got it fairly decent. Let's see what happens if we continue.
Must be something in the way you look. I'm not sure, just yet. It must be.
And it's fairly accurate. Of course, yours would be more accurate because you'd spend more time getting those hit points on it. So that's the basic way to get your audio and Logic to sync up in time using your audio as the reference.